Okay, this is practically everything that I bring when I go car camping. It's not everything because it doesn't show you the 6 gallons of water that I bring that's in my car, the camp mattress pad that I sleep on, the sleeping bag that I have, which is rated for 20 below Fahrenheit, and the comforters that I bring and the pillow from my bed. I just bring, depending upon the weather, my pillow and whatever comforter I might have on my bed at the time. I have 2 comforters. One is lighter weight for not so cold weather. For instance, right now, it goes down to about freezing at night here in Pennsylvania, and it's October, and it goes down to, it's up to 50 something degrees in the daytime. So my comforter right now is just a lightweight comforter. And then I have a heavier weight comforter, which is really good when it's below freezing. I don't personally like to car camp below freezing, but if it's going to be cold at night, I definitely bring it just in case. So this is where I keep my list. And like I said, I always leave it in this piece of luggage. And then a couple of other things that I want to point out to you that you must always bring are your prescription medications. And I don't recommend that you pull out from your pill bottle or whatever kind of medication you have. I don't recommend that you bring just the number of pills that you might need for the trip, because you could easily drop or lose them, or they get wet and you can't use them anymore. I definitely bring them in the original container, and I just keep them in a bag. A lot of these are over-the-counter medications. I just keep them in a plastic bag so they're all together. They usually go in my DOP kit, but I didn't want to forget to tell you to bring them. Another thing that I bring, I'm not going to show you exactly, is just a plastic bag where I will grab my dish sponge or dish cloth and some dishwashing liquid. I just throw it in here right before I leave the house. Having this in my suitcase though, this bag that's labeled soap, dishwashing liquid, and sponge for camping, just reminds me to grab it before I leave. And then some of you might recognize this. I love this. This is new. I got this for my trip to Acadia National Park in Maine, which I went on recently. And it is I think they call it a camel or a bladder. It's just a big bottle of water in here that is attached to a backpack. And in this, obviously it has this, I don't know what to call it, siphon, something that you can drink from, which is really convenient when you're hiking. If you're thirsty, you don't have to carry bottles of water or strap them on, which are really awkward, I think, and make me feel kind of out of balance, especially if I'm holding something. My hands get cramped while I'm hiking and I can't use my hiking pole as easily. So I love this because it straps on my back. I've always got water. It's 1.5 liters of water, so that's enough for any hike that I've been on so far. And then in this pocket, I can actually fit the important things from my wallet that I need to bring with me on my camping trip. I bring a debit card and my driver's license and some cash, and that's about all that goes in this pocket. And then there's a pocket up here as well where I can carry a toothbrush and toothpaste and a set of baby wipes. And this is good because if I'm out hiking and we stop for lunch, I can brush my teeth, and also wherever I do need to go to the bathroom, I have wipes for that so I can stay real clean on the trail. So that's my my bladder. When I do go north or west, there are pockets here. I'll put my cell phone in here so I can take photographs, maybe a chapstick, something like that. And then there's another pocket where I keep my bear spray when I'm in bear country. That's my bear spray. I love them, I recommend them, but they're not required, of course, for camping. And then I also bring what I call my kitchen. And this is just a bag of the things that I need in order to cook. And I'll go through it real quick. This is a very small cutting board, and I have a knife in my car at all times, a very sharp knife. It's like a camp knife. I have what I call a pocket rocket. I don't know if that's what they're really called. It's this little burner. Sorry, that's not real focused, but it's just a tiny little device. It's the mid part of this picture, the little orange and black part with the burner on top that you can see here. And the pot comes separately, and so does the can of fuel. But I carry that. It's very tiny, as you can see. I mean, here's my hand, so it's not much bigger than my hand, or not much smaller than my hand. And I carry a billy can. And in this billy can, I have 2 cups, so I can have tea, and I can also offer someone a cup of tea as well, or coffee. I carry lighters, of course, they're absolutely necessity. And then I carry fuel. And this is, let me show this to you, turn it around. So this is a combination of butane and propane, which is really cost effective. It's a lot cheaper than I think butane alone. Works really well. Haven't tried it in freezing temperatures yet, but it seemed fine in regular temperatures and lasted quite a few number of trips. So, and I drink a lot of tea and heat up a lot of water. And then I always carry extra fuel because I never want to run out. And these are just propane bottles, and they're about $5 a piece, a little bit more at Walmart. Now for campfires, usually I am pretty, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Stoic is not the word, but I like to try to gather my own wood and build my own campfire with just the lighter and some kindling that I find. But recently we've been camping in the fall and it's been very, very damp. And so we've had to resort to lighter fluid to douse very wet logs so that they do catch. And then I also started to bring these fire starters because we were having trouble even with the lighter fluid keeping the logs lit. And so anything to have a campfire because you got to have those s'mores. That's my whole kitchen getup, and I don't need anything but water other than what I just showed you for my kitchen. And then I always like to bring books that help me identify wild plants or mushrooms. This one's for Pennsylvania, which is where I live. And then I also bring some reading material for if we have discussions of where to go next. This is the America's National Park book we can look through and decide and plan on camping trips, which we do, by the way, on East Coast Camping Monday at 7 Eastern Time on Meetup. It's a group of like-minded women and men who want to go camping, and we discuss where to go and we make plans and we do it. So as I said, this is my only piece of luggage that I bring. It's relatively small. And in here is everything that I bring for a weekend camping trip or even a week when I went to Maine. This is what I brought. I'll pop out my button here. Now, I don't bring all of these things depending upon the type of camping I'm doing. If I'm boondocking, I'm obviously not going to be bringing a hairdryer. But if I'm going to a national park and staying in their campground, then I'll bring a hairdryer just in case. I don't like my hair to be wet when it's cold. And if they have showers, I like to bring flip-flops. I like to not wear bare feet in the shower. And then here's something that actually stays in my car most of the time. I don't pack it in my luggage. This is my pee bottle. I keep it in my car. I wash it out when the trip is over with detergent so it's nice and clean, and I let it air dry so it's nice and dry when I close it up and it doesn't smell. Now, something that I think is very important when you're camping are headlamps. I did purchase these on Amazon. I don't have the link anymore, but I don't recommend them either. It was a set of 2 headlamps. They're USB chargeable, and they have started doing wacky things. So I don't really recommend these, but I do recommend that you get rechargeable headlamps or at least battery operated headlamps. I also bring a couple of passports. This is the National Park passport and my Pennsylvania passport because I do like to collect the stamps for those. And then I bring a string bag because as I'm walking around, and this is not necessarily when I'm hiking, when I'm bringing my camel, but as I'm walking around, sometimes I like to peel off layers of clothing that I'm wearing. I'll start off in the morning with maybe sweatshirt and sweatpants, overshorts, and a t-shirt, and then it warms up. And I like to have some place to actually put those clothes. You can also carry extra water in this. You can carry your wallet, your chapstick, anything that you think you need. Very light and easy to pack. This one is even a mesh, so it's really extremely light. Just a couple of other things in here, just some wipes for my glasses to keep them clean, and that's about it in the outside pocket. And then when we get into the inside pocket, of course, don't forget your mask. We need these, of course. You know what, I just realized this one doesn't have any strings on it. I guess it's just a liner for another mask. How interesting. Just realized that. Okay, moving on. So I always like to bring a baseball cap because I have transition lenses, which are the glasses that turn darker in sunlight, but they're not very dark like sunglasses. And so I find that I'm very sensitive to light. If I bring a baseball cap, however, it cuts down on that glare and I can see a lot better. And it also keeps my hair back. I have long hair and I hate it when it gets in my face. Now, in terms of clothing, depends on the weather, obviously, but you always want to bring extra of certain things. For instance, in the fall weather, I always bring extra pairs of warm socks, and one reason is when I go to sleep at night, I always change my socks, and the reason for that is when you are walking around in socks during the day, they do get moist from perspiration, and if you go to sleep with wet socks, your feet will feel cold. But if you change your socks right before bedtime with dry socks, your feet won't be cold. Then you want to bring, obviously, any clothing that you're interested in wearing. I camp with very little. I will bring layers, so I will always wear a t-shirt no matter what the temperature is. Then I will wear a long sleeve t-shirt under that, on top of that. And on top of that, I will wear a lighter sweatshirt and then a heavier sweatshirt. And depending upon how cold it is, I might bring 2 or 3 sweatshirts and layer them and wear them all at one time. I always want to be comfortable in any temperature, and I want to be prepared, so whatever I need, I will bring. And if I don't use it, I don't use it. And then, I'll just move this for a second. That's my dock kit. So here are my t-shirt and my pair of shorts. I would be wearing these. These would not actually have to be packed because I'd be wearing them to the campground. And then I bring a washcloth and a towel, and this towel I use for everything, whether it's taking a shower or drying off my dishes after I wash them. Whatever I need, I just use the one towel. And of course, a pair of pants. And if it's cold, I will bring a bunch of sweatpants to go over the long pants, up to 4 pairs of sweatpants, and just layer them on. I do not worry about fashion statements when I'm camping. That's it for what's in my luggage other than this dock kit. So let's talk about what's in my dock kit. If I can open it with one hand. So the first thing that you want to make sure, at least me, is that you bring some kind of wipes. These are flushable, but I don't like to flush them. But these are wipes that I carry around for everything, whether it is to clean myself off if I've just gathered firewood and my hands are messy, or if I'm going to the bathroom. I like to keep as clean as possible when I am camping without having to take showers. And so I find that having wipes on hand are a good way of keeping clean. And as I said, I will put these in my camel as well when I'm going hiking, because you never know when you have to go to the bathroom, and you have them with you at all times. And then depending upon if I am in a campground where there is going to be a shower, I will bring a brush. Usually I don't have to brush my hair. I have long hair and I just pull it back. This is something I keep in my car, but I put it in here just so I could show it to you. This is an emergency blanket. I think it's just Mylar, but it's not a bad thing to have when you're camping or even hiking, especially if you're hiking alone. If you get lost, it's good to have something to keep you warm. And it's also very reflective, so it would be noticed by people passing by. As I said, I bring my prescription medication, or what you saw was really over-the-counter allergy medication, which I get seasonal allergies, so I have to carry it with me at all times. But I also bring a handful, I guess you would say, of Tylenol for headaches. This, I don't feel like I need to bring the whole bottle. I think just a little plastic bag suffices. And these are some hand warmers that I will bring when it's cold. And what I use these for primarily is to put one at the bottom of my sleeping bag when I go to bed to keep my feet warm. I don't generally use them as hand warmers in my jacket because my hands are usually working, like with hiking with my hands out with my pole. So, but yeah, you can use these for a lot of different things, I'm sure. And I have a flashlight in here, which is very small, but very bright and very useful. And it's a form of protection as well. It's got a razor sharp edge to it. I hope I never have to use that, but I have extra batteries for it as well. I probably would only bring 2 batteries. I probably wouldn't bring a whole pack. But there's nothing worse than camping at night and not having a light source. If your headlamp doesn't charge, or like mine went kind of wonky when I was in Acadia National Park, and they were doing weird things and turning off, and it was nice to have a flashlight as a secondary source to move around. You want to bring cosmetic things like your deodorant, anything that you would use normally for a shower, like body wash. There's a little shampoo in here. And I just keep these in my DOP kit. I don't have to worry about moving them to my home shower. I just have a little bottle just for camping. What is this? Oh, these are prescription. This is just, I have, yeah, cut that part out of the video. And then I showed you before, I have some wipes for, I have some wipes for my glasses, and there's a Band-Aid wrapper apparently. A little bar of soap. A lot of junk falls at the bottom here. And maybe a little pair of clippers for your nails. These are baby clippers, but they work great, at least for my nails. There's another larger pair. I don't know why. Some hair bands for my long hair. Don't need that many. I'll use whatever I have. And usually I carry my tea in my kitchen, but there's a couple of teas in here. I don't know why. And then something that I think is kind of important. I'm not very good at this. I need to refill this, but I just grabbed the Band-Aids from my vanity in my bathroom, and in it I just have Band-Aids and then a little tiny antibiotic. Just want to have something for first aid in case I get hurt while I'm out there. I don't want to have to go somewhere to pick up Band-Aids while I'm having fun. I just want to have everything with me. And that's the reason for these other things that I call my first aid kit. The Benadryl, in case I do touch something and get an allergic reaction. I think of this in terms of, I don't want to have to stop what I'm doing, go to a pharmacy, buy something, and miss out on the activities. I want to have everything with me that I might need just in case. So I have these Benadryl tablets in case I have an allergic reaction, and then the Imodium tablets in case I have some kind of problem with food or I'm just getting sick. And that way I have everything that I need, I think, that I don't have to leave having fun in what I'm doing. And then these are just Q-tips for the shower. So that's it for my DOP kit. There's a couple of quarters in there, but that's about it. You don't really need much. I think this probably covers everything on my list. I'm interested in knowing if you bring anything different than what I bring, or if you think that I missed out mentioning something. So leave it in the comments below. Subscribe if you'd like to be alerted when these solo female van life lessons come out on YouTube. I do recreate as much as possible the meetup discussions that we have on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Please feel free to join us on Meetup, and I hope you have a great day and happy camping.